شفت ياما ناس منى هتعيش العمر جنبك وبرضه ما يكفيش أحلى دنيا عندي ما تساويش.
الحمد لله الذي
As precious as children are to parents, they could also be causes of agony in this life and in the hereafter if they are not properly trained. Giving a Muslim child only Western education is like building a one-footed player who sits on reserve bench for long. Qiblah Schools Ibadan is capable of giving your child a sound Western and Islamic education with emphasis on art-based science and technology courses. Even vocational training like sewing, soap making, tie and dye are not left out. With a well-stocked library and computer room, our students are ever prepared for all external examinations. Come rain, come shine. Buses are available for their movement as well as modern sporting facilities. Yet the teaching of Quran and Sunnah to Rasulullah is never compromised. See our seasoned tutors as they impact knowledge in these children with the fear of Allah. The excellent performance of our students at all external examinations and competitions is a testimony of our diligence and the favor of Allah on us. Qiblah Primary School and Qiblah High School are located side by side at plots 2 to 5 Ibadan Southwest Multipurpose Scheme near Aleshinoye Market, Ibadan. Telephone 0805-272-5253 or 0803-313-2027. Qiblah Schools, we set the pace.
Alhamdulillah wa kafa, thumma salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the worlds. We beseech His abundant blessing upon the noblest of mankind, Muhammad bin Abdullah, his household, his companions, and the unity of Muslims on the day of accountability. You are welcome to your favorite program, Message from Qiblah, sponsored by Qiblah Schools, Aleshinoye, Ibadan. Today, inshallah, we shall be talking on Islamic rulings on Zakatul-Fitir. Zakatul-Fitr, as we all know, that it is an obligatory charity tax paid after Ramadan. That is, we pay Zakatul-Fitr at the end of Ramadan. So we are all conversant with payment of Zakatul-Fitr. So this is just a reminder for every one of us to also fulfill these obligations at the end of Ramadan. And now Ramadan is running to an end, then we should also try to prepare for that foodstuff from which we are going to pay our Zakat al-Fitr. Paying Zakat al-Fitr is important in the sense that it purifies the soul of the fasting person from wrongly and obscenity. But the Prophet ﷺ was reported to have said that أنها تطهر النفس الصائم من اللغو والرفث, that if we pay our Zakat al-Fitr, is going to purify the heart of a fasting person from laghu wa rafas, from obscenity and wrongdoing, all those acts that could reduce our reward in the sight of Allah during the month of Ramadan. So Allah will purify the heart, will purify our righteousness with the Zakat al-Fitr that we pay after the month of Ramadan. And payment of this Zakat al-Fitr is obligatory on the richest of Muslims, as we have it in the report by Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, where he said that فرض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم زكاة الفطر من رمضان متفق عليه على عبد والحر والذكر والأنثى والصغير والكبير من المسلمين. He said that the Prophet ﷺ has made Zakat al-Fitr obligatory in the month of Ramadan on every slave, freed person, men and women, Sagir wal Kabir, the young and the old. So this is telling us that all Muslims are to pay Zakat al-Fitr irrespective of your situation in terms of your age or your maturity. So everybody is expected to pay Zakatul-Fitir. Even the slaves, they have to pay Zakatul-Fitir. So both males and females, the young ones and the aged ones, they are to pay Zakatul-Fitr as it is conveyed in this hadith of Abdullah ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu. This is telling us that it's not something that we have to take with levity. We have to strive very hard and ensure the payments at the right time and not later than its due time. And the wisdom in this is what we have said earlier, that it purifies the soul of the fasting person from any obscenity around them that might have been attached to our soul during the month of Ramadan, or all things that may diminish the reward of our fasting in the month of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will use the payment of this Zakat-Fitr to purify us from them. Then we need to recognize the essence of paying Zakat-Fitr, because the scholars of Islam have told us that Zakat-Fitr annaha tugni al-fuqara wal-masakin an-suwal yawm al-Eid, that payment of Zakat-Fitr we prevent Muslims that are poor or the needy Muslims to be begging for what to eat on the day of Eid. So it prevents the poor and the needy from begging on the day of Eid. So if we give our Zakat-Fitr to the needy person around us, to the poor Muslims around us, then they will also be in a joyous mood on the day of Eid. So that will be sufficient for them rather than to be moving around begging for what to eat. And at the same time, the scholar said that that payment of Zakat-Fitr makes the poor among the Muslims happy on the day of Eid, because the day of Eid is the day of happiness, is the day that everybody is expected to be in a joyous mood, in a celebration mood, such that food will not be a problem of anybody. So whoever has what to eat on the day of Eid, that person will be in a joyous mood and will be happy that what I'm going to eat today and my family is guaranteed. And this statement of scholars is justified by the hadith reported by Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, where he says that farada Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam Zakatul-Fitr tu'rata lis-sahim min al-lagwi wa rafas wa turmatil masakin, rawahu Abu Dawud wa Ibn Majah. That the Prophet ﷺ made Zakat-Fitr mandatory tu'rata lis-sahim, so as to purify the soul of the fasting person min al-lagwi wa rafas, from obscenity and wrongling, wa turmatil masakin, and also serve as a source of food, as a means of provision for the needy. And this is telling us that the two major reasons for paying Zakat-Fitr are highlighted in this narration, in this hadith, that it purifies the soul of a fasting person from obscenity and wrongly, and at the same time it serves as a means of food for the what? For the poor on the day of Eid. And even in an hadith, the verse said, "Agnuhum ani sual fi hadha al-yawm," that make them not in need of begging on that day. So the Prophet ﷺ was directing the richest among us that we should make the poor not in need on that day, that is on the day of Eid. So we should bring happiness to their doorstep. We should put happiness in the minds of them all, as well as their families, on the day of Eid. And how do we pay Zakat-Fitr? Zakat-Fitr is paid from the popular foodstuffs around. So the popular foodstuff around, that is what we are to use to pay our Zakat-Fitr. We are not to pay Zakat-Fitr using our wealth, using our properties, or using money. So money is not a replacement for Zakat-Fitr, but that is not what Sunnah brings. That's not what Sunnah communicates to us. What Sunnah communicates to us is Zakat-Fitr is given out from the popular foodstuffs in the community. Because the scholars of Islam, they said, مقدار الزكاة الفطر ساع وصاع أربعة أمداد وتخرج من قلب قوت على البلد ولا تخرج من غير الطعام. That the measurement of Zakatul-Fitr is one bowl, sa'u, and that one bowl comprises 4 mudus. So the mudus are things that we can get around us. So 4 mudus of foodstuff will be for a person. So it is the head of the family, the father, precisely. We have to pay Zakatul-Fitr on himself, on his wife, the children, and any members of the family that is taking care of, any member of the family that he is feeding, that is under his provision. So this is telling us that the measurement is 4 mudus per one person, and the food to be given out should be popular among the foodstuffs available in the community. And the scholars, they said, that we don't pay Zakatul-Fitr from other things apart from food. We don't. So precisely we have to use foodstuff to pay our Zakatul-Fitr. So money is not an alternative for Zakatul-Fitr. That is, it's not an alternative to food in the payment of our Zakatul-Fitr. And the time the Zakatul-Fitr is due is the day of Eid, before the Eid prayer is observed. And that is the best day we have to give out as Zakatul-Fitr. That is, on the day of Eid, we have to go and deliver our Zakatul-Fitr to the needy person around us or to the poor Muslims around us, so that on that day, that person will have food to eat and will be prevented from begging for what to eat on the day of Eid. And we have to ensure that this Zakatul-Fitr is paid before we go out to observe our Salatul Eid. God Prophet ﷺ was quoted and said, Man addaha qabla salah faya zakatun maqbula. That whoever pays his Zakatul-Fitr before the Eid prayer, then that is the acceptable Zakatul-Fitr. Wa man addaha ba'da salah faya sadaqatun min as-sadaqat. That if anybody pays his Zakatul-Fitr after the Eid prayer, then that person has succeeded in doing ordinary charity, will not be given the reward of Zakatul-Fitr. So it's telling us that the timing of paying Zakatul-Fitr is equally important. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless every one of us beyond our expectation, so that we have sufficient to pay our Zakatul-Fitr. And we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts our charity as a perfect act of righteousness. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. أقول ما تسمعون أستغفر لي ولكم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Timba kawe mi batamia tunko ko ka.
tá a bá kàwé tá a fi tọ́lọ́run síwájú ní bàtà kókó kàífi rọ́ni lọ́rùn ẹsẹ̀ káfọmọlẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àlùkùránì àtẹ̀kọ́ ìwé tó yanrantí lọ́mọ fi lè ṣàṣeyọrí láyé tí ó sì tún jèrè ní àlẹ́ àhírà bá a kúkú fẹgbẹ̀rún pàǹṣàgùnmu àtìlẹ́yìn ẹ̀kọ́ gbóná ni tó bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kí n júwe Qiblah schools Ìbàdàn fún yín ilé ìwé akéwù kàwé ṣe súnà tó ṣàrọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ Qiblah primary school láti ń fohùn èlò ẹ̀kọ́ òde òní kọ́mọ ohun ìṣeré lóríṣiríṣi tí mọ̀mọdé jẹ̀rẹ̀ ilé ìwé lójoojúmọ́ àtàwọn olùkọ́ bí òbí lọ́lọ́run á la fi jíǹkì wa ti Qiblah high school yìí gan tún wọ ìyàmì ẹ̀kọ́ ìmọ̀ sáyẹ́ǹsì ìmọ̀ ẹ̀rọ technology tó ń ti ṣe ọwọ́ vocational studies lọ́bí ń káwọn ọmọ wa bí wọ́n ṣe ń kéwù ni wọ́n ń kàwé kódà a tún kọ́ wọn lẹ́sìn ní tìlànà Allah wa rasulihi ọkọ̀ ń bẹ ní sẹpẹ́tà fi ń káwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ àyíká wa àrímọ̀ lè lọ ni àṣeyọrí àwọn ọmọ wa níbi èsì ìdánwò àṣejáde gbogbo ó ń lẹ̀rí máa jẹ́ mi sọ ìtẹ́pámọ́ṣẹ́ àtàánú ọlọ́run àálà lórí wa Qiblah schools wà ní plot 2, 3, 4 and 5 Ìbàdàn South West multi-purpose scheme nítòsí ọjà alẹ́sìnlọ́yẹ̀ Ìbàdàn tẹlifóònù 0805-272-5253 àti 0803-313-2027 Qiblah schools ìwájú lójúgùn gbé.
بجهالة ثم تاب من بعد